Hi everybody, welcome to tonight's talk. So tonight, as you can see from the title of the video, we're going to be talking about change, and the title is Stop Praying for Things Not to Change. And maybe instead of praying for things to not change, praying for this instead. I hope that you enjoy this video and you find what I talk about to be helpful. So, stop praying for things to never change, right? Okay? Why am I telling you this? Because it literally just goes against the nature of this reality. There is like one constant in this reality, and it's change, right? So when you are asking or intending or find yourself wishing in a state of constant anxiety that you never want anything to change ever, you're going against the one kind of fundamental law of this reality, right? It's like praying for gravity not to exist. It doesn't really, it makes sense in the context of our human experience, and a lot of times change can feel very unsafe, but it doesn't make sense when you look at how this reality is truly structured. Your body is always changing. The earth itself is constantly changing, and even the universe, what we know of it and what we can see, is also changing. There is not one thing that is staying the same. Also, sometimes, right, what we are looking for, what we deeply desire, is change. So, for instance, hey, we're short on money, we're wishing for the change of more money. We feel a lack of purpose, we're wishing for the change of having purpose. Change is not a positive or a negative thing, it just is. And it's what can take us from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, the pendulum swing. It just is. What we desire, right? Because what we desire, we don't have. So guess what? There's going to have to be change to get to that thing. So a lot of the times, right, you are wishing for change. You want change. It's just in certain aspects of your life, you don't want it. So it's really important, however, to round out your view of change and not look at it as this overarchingly really scary concept that you are running away from, because there are times where you want the change. I'm going to go a little bit more in detail here about the change within your mind. So a lot of times we're looking at change as always like this really huge major incident of like, oh my gosh, we quit our job, or we are let go of from a job, or we break up with somebody, big major life events. However, change doesn't necessarily always have to come in the form of some dramatic ending. Change can also be a change within your mind, a change in how you're looking at something. For example, for that area or areas of life that you are really scared of change and you really don't want anything to change, if for whatever reason, that part of your life, you do have to start experiencing some change there, being able to look at it in a different way, transmuting it. For most of us, within our minds, we have very rigid ways of looking at the world and of looking at situations. It's very rigid. We think we know exactly how situations are supposed to look, how things are supposed to unfold. However, while we might feel safety in this rigidity, or we may truly believe that we know, within this rigidity, there is no freedom. We are limiting what is possible for ourselves. We are being our own enemies in this way. This mental flexibility is so important because it can allow you to see a very painful situation in a different way, allowing you to transmute it. And this is where the idea of allowing becomes very important. Allowing change the mind. In order for us to grow, especially within our mind, we need to allow the growth. We have to intentionally say, okay, I am open to viewing this in a different way. I allow my mind to evolve and to change. I am open to experiencing something different for myself, something I could not perceive of as I am right now. We have to consent to the opening of our mind, or else we will not experience it opening. We have to consent to the opening of the mind in order for our mind to grow and evolve. Like what it says, knock and the door will be opened, but you have to knock. Our mind isn't going to just change automatically unless we allow it to intentionally. And if we're taking it more spiritually here, until we allow the divine to give us a higher perspective, you have to be a participant in the process. You have to say, okay, I allow my mind to change, to grow, to evolve, to look at the situation differently, to open to different possibilities. You can really have this false sense of security that's not real security. It's illusion, and it's limiting you. That we have everything always figured out. We know exactly how every situation's gonna unfold with only maybe like two bits of information about it. But we don't really know. That's the truth. We don't really know. Our experience is actually very finite in the grand scheme of things. So once again, what do we have to do? We have to allow the mind to open. We have to intend for it. We have to allow it. We have to ask for it. If we don't, the door will never be opened for us. Ask and you will receive. Knock and the door will be opened to you. If you do not knock, the door will remain shut, and you will remain within your own echo chamber, within your mind, repeating the same situation time and time again, the same thoughts time and time again. My main points here for you guys to take away is, remember, change has polarity within it. You really aren't asking all the time for things to never change. Like, if you are afraid of change, you're really not, because at certain times you're okay with the change if it's bringing you towards a desire that you have, okay? And change is unavoidable. It's a fundamental feature of our reality. So it's really important that rather than running from change and trying to ignore it and looking at it negatively, if something's a fundamental feature of our reality, we look at that thing and we find a way to make it beneficial for us and help us grow and evolve. We make friends with change, right? Make friends with your supposed enemy of change. And then another really important thing to take away from here, okay, is we have to be an active participant in our minds growing, in their ability to hold multiple perspectives. We have to be an active participant in our mental growth. We have to allow it. We have to ask for it and say, I would like to see the situation in a different way, in a higher way. I allow my thoughts to expand. And if you want to take it spiritual, I allow the divine to help me raise my thoughts to a higher level, to grow my mind, to expand my awareness and what I can perceive of and how I look at things. Because we can walk through life maybe acting like that's what we want, but we really aren't allowing that sincerely. So maybe ask that to yourself as well. Am I really allowing my mind to open? Or do I want to remain in this same thought loop, in this same echo chamber, because that's what feels safe to me?